Hello, it's another weekend update. It's been a while, so I thought I'd film one about what we've been up to. Right now, everything's kind of winding down and we're getting ready for winter. So let's see, what happened since my last update was pigs got slaughtered. I don't have any video of that, but I took down the corral where they were in, their pen, to get slaughtered, and then also cleaned up all their electric field fence, all their wiring that held them in. One of the big things that happened recently was we got a new tractor. Well, it's an old new tractor, but it's I think it's a 1976 John Deere 2240. It's a diesel, which means it's more fuel efficient and also more powerful, which is good. It's got a bigger bucket on the front than our old one, and so it's real nice. And the only problem right now is it's got I think the alternator is not working, so I need to fix that. Besides that, really sweet tractor. And I used that a couple weeks back to clean out the brooder greenhouse where we had our meat chicks over the summer, where we were brooding them. So cleaned out all the bedding from there, and then used it to pull it to a more sheltered spot, because that greenhouse is movable. So pulled it over behind the barn so it's out of the wind, and then moved the one of our laying flocks into there, so that way they're they can have a place in the greenhouse that's out of the wind and the rain, and they're sheltered in there. And I built the last eggmobile for the year, and so that was kind of one of the summer projects that never got done, and so I was able to finish it up at the end of the year. And it's just like the ones I made earlier in the year, the same boat trailer design and the hoops and everything. And then one of the things I've been up to lately, getting the barn ready for the cows. And so the cows are now in there because I finished that up yesterday. So the big thing there was new cattle feeder, new hay feeder, because they have the last 2 years have destroyed their feeder by the end of each season. So with this one, it's real big and tough, and hopefully it'll last. We'll see. And so how it's built is the main beams are made out of pole timber, and so that's just big round trees that I got as straight sections as possible, and they're bolted together with 2x4s as the rest of the frame. So it's a slot design, so they can put their head through there and then eat out of the trough, and so that will hopefully reduce feed wastage, so they're not pulling hay out of the feeder and then eating it and dropping it on the ground. They'll drop back into the trough. Then I also created a separate area where the calves can get away from the bigger cows. And so, because oftentimes during the winter, the feeder is 40 foot long, so there should be enough space, but cows can be bullies and they'll push the little guys around. And so this gives a spot where the cows can slip underneath a cow-calf separator, which is just a board that's about 3.5 feet off the ground or so. And so they can slip underneath that, and they can get to their own feeder and get away from any bullies, that might be pushing them around. And so they can have peace and quiet in their own feed in there. Then I also changed the gutter connection between the greenhouse and the barn, because that was leaking at the end of last year. And so I moved the gutter out further and made it more steep so the water drains quicker. Changed the way how the greenhouse plastic attaches, so hopefully that'll keep it from leaking in the future. We had some rain yesterday and it did pretty good, so there might be some slight modifications, but it worked all right. And then since the other pigs went off to the butcher, I was missing them, so I got 9 more. They were about 13 weeks old right now, or 14 weeks old. I'd have to look back at my records, but they're doing great. They're going to be our rototiller pork. So the other was forested pork. They were raised out in the woods. These guys, I give them green grass every day, throw it in there for them. They love that. But they are going to be our rototillers. And so what they do is they dig up our bedding, especially for the cows, because with the cows I put down corn in the bedding or some other whole grains, and that ferments over the winter, and then the pigs go after that stuff, and they love to dig it up, and they rototill everything and compost it. And so that's our rototiller pork. And so we're raising those guys so that by the time everything, all the animals go out in the spring, they're big enough that they've got the horsepower, the pig power, to really root and dig deep. So we want big pigs for that. So they're cute and little right now. Give a couple months and they'll be there and ready to do their job. I think that's it for the weekend update, or farm update. Thanks for watching.